I must regretfully inform you that the Judicator does not wish to be disturbed.
What is it, Gillian?
I am receiving a transmission from a ship in orbit. A Terran ship.
Terran?
Yes. Wait, there is more. No, he has retired to the Executor's Citadel and does not wish to be disturbed.
Tell him it's about Mox.
A transmission regarding Commander Mox?
It is merely a single Terran in orbit, Judicator. I was about to dismiss him.
No, thank you. Pass the signal through to me here.
As you wish.
Speak, Terran.
You don't know me. The name's Aster. Trent Aster. Or you can call me Trench if you like.
I have no time for idle chat nor long introductions. You mentioned Commander Mox. Do you bring news of his current status?
You could say that. I'm an information broker, and I was recently hired by the commander. And I've, recently discovered something interesting. Normally I just finish the job, collect my dues, and move on to the next thing, but, in the light of this information, I can't exactly return to my employer.
Oh? Explain.
I take it you know about Mox's exile?
I was present, yes.
I know who planted the homing beacon in Mox's quarters.
Indeed. Do tell.
50,000 credits first.
Terran, if your information is of any use to me, you may be paid. If not, I may very well blow you out of the sky for wasting my time.
Fair enough. The person who planted that homing beacon wasn't Mox. It was Dale Gurney. And that's not even the interesting part. Those weren't Kelmorian wraiths attacking the station.
Elaborate.
Those wraiths were using fake serial numbers and transponder codes, flying around all painted up to look like Combine ships. Check your old data and you'll see that the masked signatures are specific to the troops on Mount Midnight, the old Char Psi Reserve under jurisdiction of the Combine.
I do not recall seeing a substantial air force of any kind at the commander's former base. You are saying the wraiths that attacked him belonged to the Brisbane contingent. For what purpose would they attack themselves?
Well, I managed to get my hands on a transmission between Gurney and a Kelmorian officer. But from the conversation, it turns out that the officer was just someone under Gurney's command. That Wraith Squadron's instructions were to pose as Kelmorian pilots, attack the station, set the ships on autopilot, and eject for pickup by the other officers conveniently on leave. That's at the stage for the bug to be found, and Mox to get kicked off.
Does this not sound a bit contrived to you, Terran? What is the point of staging this elaborate charade just to exile Commander Mox?
Ah, but that's where this little conspiracy gets good. There are a few inconsistencies here that you just can't ignore. Now, didn't Mox tell you that the Combine was planning to use an army of psionically controlled Zerg against the Dominion?
Yes.
Yeah, well, what he failed to mention was that the Combine is actually a part of the Dominion itself now. It'd be pretty stupid for the Kelmorians to want revenge over monetary losses, when the Dominion Engineering Corps is actually a subsidiary of the Combine itself. And that's just one example off the top of my head. The Combine hasn't suffered on account of Mengsk rising to power. It's gotten richer.
So the commander's information was mistaken?
Not quite. Isn't it also a coincidence that the two of them happen to be training ghosts only a stone's throw away from an old, supposedly abandoned Morian mining base? That coincidentally happened to house a platoon of telepaths in cold storage, and a psi emitter capable of luring all the Zerg on Char to any planet like flies to flypaper?
You are saying Commander Mox and his forces wanted to use the psionic technology themselves, and that he purposely lied to us in order to obtain it?
Now you're starting to get the picture.
And what of the Kelmorian troops who assaulted us shortly before the Psi Cocoon was destroyed? Commander Mox himself assisted my forces in dispatching them. I suppose those were imposters too.
No, those were the real deal. Obviously, from all the gear at Mount Midnight, the real Combine was into psionic experimentation. The Dominion Engineering Corps ain't just a bunch of bridge builders and civil engineers. Somehow, Gurney and Mox got wind that the Combine was experimenting with the Zergon Ire, All that bull about a plot to overthrow Minsk and keep the Protoss occupied? That was pure fabrication. The Psychicune on Ire was another of the Combine's experiments, and the Kelmorian forces that arrived to harass you were just there to try to preserve their investment. Mox and Gurney planned to take out the Combine, grab whatever technology that was used to create the cocoon, and return safely to a shiny new space station waiting in orbit over Ire, the most heavily infested world in the Koprolu sector. You don't actually think the two of them and their ragtag group of yokels could actually help defend your province from the rest of the Zerg rampaging over the rest of the planet, do you?
Continue.
Now, the short and the long of it is that your Terran buddies wanted to use the Zerg much in the same way that the fictional Combine wanted to. Except they had no intention of striking at Korhal. Oh no. From what I read in their classified files, they wanted to pose as Combine agents, hold small Dominion border worlds for ransom, and make away like billionaires. The real Combine would take the blame and get wiped out by Dominion forces, allowing Mox and Gurney to get a foothold in the mining industry, to boot.
And what of Mox's banishment?
Gurney simply got too greedy. Mox was never told the full extent of Gurney's plans, especially the part about disguising themselves as the Combine. He was just a loose end to get rid of, and they couldn't just whack him and his loyal followers without arousing too much suspicion from his new Protoss buddies.
Us.
You got it, Chief.
Gurney did not strike me as being the insidious and calculating leader you make him out to be. He seemed far too quiet and reserved to be the mastermind of such a grandiose scheme.
I hate to be trite, but it's always the quiet ones you have to watch out for. You'd be surprised at how many idiots there are in this galaxy that attempt crazy things like this on a daily basis. And more surprised as to how many actually get away with it.
Surprise? Nothing has surprised me in a long, long time. But I am now at a point in my life where I would actually have to agree.
So, what do you plan to do?
What can I do? My own people are mired in deceit and treachery.
Look, if you were bent on stopping a whole division of the Terran bureaucracy from annihilating the Terran throne world before, I don't see any reason why you can't stop a couple of charlatans from ruining the lives of 500 million people on half a dozen defenseless worlds now. It's all in a day's work. Right?
I am not so certain anymore, Terran. My homeworld is in ashes, infested by Zerg. 2 of my closest companions are dead, and others that I have respected and believed in with every ounce of my being, may be frauds and traitors.
Not to be Mr. Insensitive or anything, but I'm picking up a lot of Protoss movement all of a sudden, heading for your position.
And what of it? There is much to be done here. It is not unusual that there would be heightened activity among my people.
Yeah, well, these Protoss are coming from the underground tunnels surrounding your city. I kinda thought you guys were surface dwellers.
Forgive me for interrupting, Judicator, but did I hear that correctly?
Moloch, I have just received word. Several Corsairs in your personal squadron have been shot down by Dracoons and Templar emerging from the caverns.
They are coming in.
Forgive me, Terran, if I do not jump at the chance to right every wrong your cohorts have perpetrated. I simply do not have the energy. Leave, or you may inadvertently stumble into the thick of a war you are unprepared to face.
Alright, fine. I can see that nothing I've said has meant anything to you. But I still expect those credits to be delivered.
Go. Now!
Have fun.
Judicator, our attackers are nearly upon us.
Let them come. I am tired of fleeing. We will defend this city to the death. Be it Protoss, Zerg, Terran, or any other. We will not retreat. And we will not surrender.
Hello and welcome back. It's been about... Okay.
Your forces are under attack.
It's been about 2 hours since I last played.
Judicator, it appears that we have no Templar or Arbiters with which to combat the enemy. According to the local reports, Alderus has called a legion away from here for some sort of meeting.
Leaving us, as usual, to fend for ourselves. Never mind that now. Are your Dark Templar forces ready to stand with us?
We are at your disposal.
Then they will do just as well.
Do not underestimate us, Judicator. We harbor powers even you do not suspect.
They may prove useful, Judicator, for it appears we also have Zerg company.
Base is under attack.
To be honest, I didn't get this in my playthrough before. Like this attack here, it never came.
Base is under attack.
Speaking of that Alderus thing that Moloch was talking about, how was it Moloch or was it that scout guy?
I am ready.
Anyway, if you take a look at your center of the map and then trace it back to the Brood War campaign mission, how like it is really escaping my mind what that mission is called. But if you look at it, it's the same base layout. This Templar Archives, this. Everything's in the same place. Like, it's really tough not to know that. Not know that. Talking out of my bum again.
Your forces are under attack.
Let's come down here and build cannons. I'd rather come down here rather than going down a tight ass ramp. I assume they're gonna attack from here. I'll just leave the Dark Templar there anyway. Okay. Let's build some gateways.
Your forces are under attack.
Dark Swarm OP. It's alright, so was Alex.
Yes, Executor?
Your forces are under attack.
I need Do I have
Forces are under attack.
Yes, I do. Ah, G. Uh-oh. Okay. I was not paying attention to that.
Your forces are under attack.
Okay. Let's get these observers so I can attack the Zerg. Okay.
Your forces are under attack. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Base is under attack. Not enough minerals. Your forces are under attack.
Make use of me. Receiving use of me. I got to. For languages. House.
Not enough minerals.
I long to combat.
Your forces are under attack.
I guess half my supply is in Dark Templar.
Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack.
My life for ire. She house.
Whoops.
I have returned. She house. For a new use of me. Upgrade complete.
Your forces are under attack.
Take use of me. instructions. Awaiting instructions. Noon is far too. I hear you.
Termas.
Yes. My life for hire. What now calls is far too. Instructions. My life for hire is far too. I long for combat.
Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack.
What now calls? Awaiting instructions. House. I long for combat.
Our objective is to defend the Templar, the Executive Citadel, and to pretty much destroy everything.
Your forces are under attack.
I have returned.
Two spawning pools, why not?
Transmit. I long for combat. Transmit.
There's a lot of gas here, too bad I can't do nothing with it.
Your forces are under
I swear a lot of people are gonna go carriers on this mission.
What now calls? I long for combat. Honor guide me. I have ready for battle. I have returned. At last. Jogad.
I don't think I need these courses, so I'm gonna...
Base is under attack.
I long for combat. She house. I
Your
long
forces
for
are under
combat.
attack.
She house. I am needed. Make use of me.
Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack.
My life for hire. I long for combat. Is what now calls.
Your forces are under
Life for
attack.
hire. What now calls. Is transmitted. Is I long for combat. Is I long for combat. She house.
Your forces are under attack.
Where's my little probe? Let's get the space.
I long for combat.
I guess there's no way for me to get to this other base.
Your forces are under
I
attack.
better not have to go, yeah, because that's gonna be really annoying.
My life for hire.
Not enough minerals.
I long for combat. My Citadel have returned. Transmitting. Sanctimonious.
Your forces are under attack. Your forces are under attack.
My life for Isles. I have returned. I long
Your
for
forces
combat.
are under attack.
I guess I could have gotten both these bases right off the bat, eh? This 12 o'clock and this 7 o'clock base. Sorry I didn't talk much during this mission. And sorry about me talking load of BS at the part where I was talking about our Darren. Anyway, mission complete.
Judicator, the enemy lines have been broken. We are safe. For now.
Not enough minerals.
Okay guys, thanks for watching. Mission 8 will be out next. Peace out guys, have a good day.